Dear students, good morning to you all. I am Karthikeyan sir, Social Science teacher of Vidyamandir High Science School. Today's session is already we have completed 10th standard history, 7th lesson, anti-colonial movements and the birth of nationalism. Okay, there we have completed the part 1. Actually, that lesson was divided into 2 parts. One is regarding the, we have discussed about the peasant revolt or the peasant rebellion, and then Great Revolt of 1857. Okay. The second session goes to, this part 2 goes to, we will discuss about that. One more revolt which is pending, that is called as Indigo Revolt. Okay. And then birth of the nationalism. Okay, already just we have seen that. We have seen that the introduction of this lesson. Actually, we have learned the lesson is the nature of the tribal and the peasant revolt. The farmer revolt. Okay, against the British. And then, what are the contributory factors for the outbreak of the Great Rebellion of 1857? Factors, causes, results of 1857. And then the subsequent changes of the British approach to the government of India, the governing India. Okay, and now we are going to discuss about that. What are the factors leading to the formation of Indian National Congress and the perspectives of the early nationalists. Okay, first one. Next one is a divide and rule policy of the British government behind the partition of Bengal in the year of 1905, which was happened there, and the launch of the Swadeshi movement in Bengal. Okay, and then the background for the launch of the Home Rule movement. Do you know very well? Okay, what was happened there? What was the result for that? We will discuss one by one. Okay, this is for the introduction. Come on, let us go to enter the lesson topic. First one is Indigo Revolt. Actually, the last video, part 1, I have completed the topic is Great Revolt of 1857. See, from 1857, the result we have seen that the entire control of our country has gone under the control of the British government. Under the crown. Okay. Now, we continue after the result, the Great Revolt of 1857. What happened from 1859 to 1860. Okay, first one is it. So the peasant, farmers revolt under crown. Crown means, just very well, queen, government, England, British queen. No, directly our country has gone under the control of the British. Okay. So what was happened for the farmers by the British crown under the control of the British government in the year of 1859 to 1860. Okay. First one is a Indigo Revolt. Indigo means which is a dye. That's a dye. Okay. Indigo Revolt, which was happened very widely in our country. Before synthetic dyes, the artificial dyes, okay, were created, natural indigo dye was highly valued by cloth makers. Okay. Around the world, totally throughout the world fully, only for the artificial dye only that is used by the used in the markets, utilized in the market, that is sold also in the market. Many Europeans employed farmers. Many Europeans employed farmers to grow the indigo. Okay, naturally, which was processed into dye. Which was indigo is a plant. Okay, that is processed into dye at the plant factories or planters factories. The dye it was exported to Europe. Okay. The peasants were forced to grow the crop. Peasants means farmers were forced to compel to grow the crop. The British planter, okay, gave the cultivator, of farmers, a cash advance to help pay for the rent for the land and other cost. This advance amount needed to be repaid with interest. Actually, British government already gave the amount to the Indian farmers, so they paid for the advance also for the rent. But at the time of returning the amount, they want to pay with interest also. Okay, so the planters forced the peasant grow indigo, right, rather than food crops. Actually, before the arrival of the indigo, just we processed or we cultivated only for the food crops only. Just we are not going for cash crops actually, right? So moreover, at the end of the season, actually at the end of the season, the planters paid the cultivators low prices for their indigo. Okay, that moreover cultivators low prices for their indigo. Moreover, the small amount the peasant earned was not enough to pay back the cash advance with interest. Okay, so they fell into debt, kadan. Okay, because of the huge debt, automatically the debt was passed from father to son. Okay, the India revolt, actually this revolt was began in 1859. The rebellion began as a strike. Actually, you know the meaning of strike. Actually, as the farmers of a village in Bengal's Nadia districts, Nadia district, refused to grow, not given or not pay. Okay, refused to grow any more indigo plant. Actually, okay, they are not ready to grow the indigo plants. Actually, the movement quickly spread to other indigo growing districts of Bengal also. Actually, already there was a small district of Bengal. The rebellion was broken, and then automatically that was spread to other parts of the area also. Okay, the revolt then turned to violent also, violent, severe. The farmers, both Hindus and Muslims, participated in the revolt from both the Hindus as well as Muslims also. Muslims also. In addition to that, women armed with pots and pans also fought alongside the men, right? Most probably. So men, women, both Hindus and Muslims participated that. So Indian journalists in Calcutta wrote articles about the cruelty of the planters. In the year of 1860, they wrote that in the Neel Darpan, Mirror of the Indigo, there was an article by Dina Badru Mitra, did much to draw the attention in India and Europe to the plight of the indigo growers. That is the biggest revolt was happened there. So this is what is the indigo revolt, which was happened for the year of 15 to 60. The next heading goes to Deccan revolts of 1875. Deccan revolts of 1875. That is also one of the revolt. See, heavy taxation. Do you know very well taxes amount? Destroyed agriculture. Heavy taxation ruined agriculture. Famine, drought, severe panjam, Arachi, increased. Death is also increased. The first recorded incident of rioting against the money lenders. Those who are giving and buying the money for interest. Financiers. Nowadays it is called as financiers. Money lenders in the Deccan was in May 1875. Deccan was in May 1875. In Supa, there was a small village near Pune. There was a small village near Pune. Similar cases of riots, the violent, maybe the revolt, were reported from close to 30 villages. In Pune and Ahmednagar. The rioting the violent or the revolt was directed mostly at Gujarat money lenders. Gujarat money lenders. The financiers, those who are giving and buying the money now. Under British rule, peasants were forced to pay revenue directly to the government. Also, under a new law, money lenders were allowed, financiers were allowed to attach the mortgage grant. Already they kept the land for money, for the defaulters and auction it off. This resulted in a transfer of lands from the cultivation. This actually lands from the cultivators to the non-cultivating classes. Actually, already the land was in the hands of farmers. Due to the borrowing of heavy money from the money lenders, what happened that they were not possible to return the money to the money lenders. So immediately already they mortgaged Adamanam Veital, okay, their land. So now, due to the absence of giving money to the moneylenders, they had given their land to moneylenders, okay. So automatically now the land was transferred from, where is that, from the cultivators to non-cultivators, okay, non-cultivating classes, right. Trapped into the vicious cycle. So vicious cycle means what is that? Buying money, borrowing money, doing the agriculture, failure, and again they return the land for them. That's a vicious cycle of poverty, like that, vicious cycle, okay, of debt, unable to pay the what is that outstanding amount. The peasant was forced to abandon cultivation. They left away the cultivation, okay. This is called as Deccan periods. Next thing is foundation of the Indian National Congress. Foundation of the Indian National Congress, okay. Foundation of Indian National Congress, right. In the year of actually it was started, you know very well, 1885. Actually, it was formed that. The second half of the 19th century, saw the emergence, I mean the creation of national political consciousness, awareness among a new social class of English educated Indians, actually educated Indians. The Indian intelligentsia, educated Indians is called as intelligentsia, knowledgeable people, or the educated Indians, played a critical role, okay, important role in generating a national consciousness throughout the countrywide awareness, okay, right, by exposing a large number of people to the idea of nation, nationalism, and various democratic aspirations, okay. The flourishing of print media, growth of the print media, okay, which on the paper, newspapers, journals, articles, pamphlets, so and so, that is what is, right. Print media both in the vernacular, local language, mother tongue, Taimuri, okay, and in English played a significant important role in circulating such ideas for that. Even though they were numerically small, who the intelligentsia people, okay, small number, they had a national character and capacity to create contacts on all the India, totally India fully. They were working as lawyers, journalists, and government employees, and teachers or doctors, okay. They took the initiative, I mean the steps taken by those people to float political outfit research, such as Madras Native Association in the year of 1852, and East India Association in 1866, second organization, and then Madras Magajana Sabha in 1884, okay, Pune Sarvajanik Sabha in 1870, and then the Bombay Presidency Association in the year of 1885, and many others, okay. Then the next heading is economic situation of the colonialism, economic review of the colonialism, critique, that is called as critique, review. Colonialism, you know very well, already just you have learned something from the first lesson of our history, that is what is that, the country which is ruled by another country, maybe a slave country, okay. I mean after conquering a country by the powerful nation, they made the defeated country as the colony, that is called as colonialism, okay. So one of the most important contribution of early Indian nationalists was the formulation of the economic critique, that is situation or review of colonialism, okay. I mean generally what will happen that whenever and wherever any other country they entered one more country, what happened that they first of all they drained the wealth of the country, you know, that was happened in our country also, India also. Lot of the wealth were drained by the Europeans, isn't it? Not only for the Europeans, many other invaders they have entered our country, no, that is called, okay, that is called as economic critique, okay. Dadabhai Naoroji and then Justice Ranade and Ramesh Chandra Dutt, okay, they played the important role in making this criticism about colonial economy, right, in this way of draining the wealth of our country to their own country. They clearly understood that the prosperity, I mean growth of a country, or the prosperity of the British lay in the economic and political subjugation of India, slavery. On the slave of our country, automatically they looted all the wealth of the country, okay, wealth of our country. They concluded that colonialism was the main obstacle, hindrance, to the Indians' economic development, okay, right. Next one is the objectives and methods. from the objectives and methods, the formation of the Indian National Congress, Indian National Congress in 1885 was intended make more severe to create, establish an all India organization. Okay, they need an organization to protest against of India by forcefully, right, and peacefully actually. So they need an Indian wide organization or Indian wide, what is an association, they thought that, right. It was the culmination, high peak, right, that is a culmination, grievances, peak of the grievances of the people, okay, peak grievances of the people, of attempts by groups of educated Indians politically, what is it, active in 3 presidencies. Where are they? What are the 3 presidencies? Presidencies is nothing but state, that's all. Bombay, Madras and Calcutta. Right? The first person, his name was A.O. Hume, Alan Octavian Hume. Basically, he was a retired British civil servant actually, right? On the fund of our country. He thought that we want to do something else for the Indian people or the India. So, he took the first step to stop the, all India organization. So, his name was A.O. Hume. A.O. Hume lent his services to facilitate the formation of the Congress. Okay, he is the founder. He was the founder, right? And then after the formation of the Congress, Umesh W.C. Banerjee, which is called as Umesh Chandra Banerjee, was the first president in the year of 1885 of the Indian National Congress. Okay, the first session of the Indian National Congress was held on 28 December 1885. That's the first Congress Monad, 1885. The yearly objectives were developed and consolidated. Okay, sentiments of national unity, but also it has given loyalty to the Britain. This was loyalty to the Britain. They did not oppose strongly against the British government, right? Somewhat they had given only for loyalty. The techniques included appeals, petitions, and delegations to the Britain. Okay, forwarding and writing letters. So whatever the demands by the Indian people, or what are the demands for the Indian leaders, simply they showed what is that in the protest of by writing the petition on applying for that, okay, and because of the delegations and sending some persons to negotiate with the British government, so and so, all done within the constitutional framework. Okay, some of the key demands were the following. What are the demands for that? Certain demands is first one is saying creation of legislative council in provincial and central level. Provincial, state, central, throughout India fully. Okay, I think they need a state government, free of the state government and the central government. Increasing the number of elected members. So those days also election was held by the British government. But we appealed them to increase the members in the elections party, right? In the legislative council, separating judicial and executive functions for that, and then reducing the military expenses. See, if you spend any country or any nation, they spend more amount to the military. What will happen for that? They may not go to It is essential. There is no doubt at all. We must concentrate for the military also, but at the same time, if you want to develop or if you want to grow our country as economically as a prosperity of the nation compared with the other country, we must concentrate on the other fields also, like as agriculture or industries, technology, so and so. Is it okay? So on those days, we forced the British government to reduce the expenses of the military also, and then reduction of the home charges. What is the home charges for the England? Okay, England government. British government, they took a lot of money, from our country only. So we informed them to reduce that, and then extension of the trial by jurisdiction, court, right, and holding the civil services exams, ICS, Indian Civil Service exams, in India as well as in England. On those days only it was happened only in the England only, but we compelled them to conduct the exam in India also. ICS exam, okay, and then police reforms, because on those days so much of revolt was happened in the police department. So we want to take the reform from the police department also, and then reconsideration of the forest laws. Reconsideration of what is the forest laws? Yeah, because totally in the same messages we have seen that already the tribal people they were allowed to live inside the forest areas. They were compelled to move away from the various forest areas, right? So we have to reconstruct or restructure, right? Reconstruct or reform the forests for that. And finally, promotion of Indian industries, Indian industries, and an end to unfair tariff, not fair tariff, maybe the money related activities, okay, and excess duties. See, for the simple example, if any goods or the things which came from England to India, there is no duty, or very minimal duty. At the same time, if any things which has to be exported or sent from our country or other country to England, automatically that England, they created lot of the excess duty, worry, which is something, okay, collected lot of amount also. So we feel it was very unfair against of India, okay. Then the last one is militant nationalism. What is that? The methods of moderate leaders. Actually, there was two sections just know very well. One is moderates, and one is extremists. Isn't it okay? The moderates was Gopale, right? He was the main leader. Just you know very well. Moderate leaders failed to yield any substantial change. Actually, they may not go to produce proper result from the British government on the approach of the Indonesian Congress leaders. Who are they? The moderate leaders. Okay. Very substantial change in the British attitude towards the moderate demands of early Indian nationalism, right? They were criticized by a group of leaders as called extremists. One group is called as moderates, another group is called as extremists. Instead of prayers and petitions, these militants were more focused on self-help, okay. Bengal in the year of 1905, you know very well. Already you have studied something from 8th standard as well as 9th standard also. Once again, just we want to recall it, okay. See, the partition of Bengal in 1905 was the most unpopular of all, you know very well, that's not doubt at all. The partition led to widespread protest, of course, okay, all across the India, starting a new phase, the new beginning or the new movement of the Indonesian movement, okay, new step. The idea of partition was divided to suppress the political activities against the British rule in Bengal by creating a Hindu-Muslim divide, okay. So the first heading goes to Hindu-Muslim divide. It was openly that the objective of partition was to cut Bengali influence, right, and weaken the nationalist movement. Actually, British government, they thought that they decided that they want to weak the national movement of our country by placing Bengal under two administrative units, right, okay. So they want to divide Bengal into two. The reason is what is that it was the biggest presidency in India, so we want to separate into two. Then only just we will go to easily administer for that. Due to that, they are going to separate it. This was the idea, and this was the aim they spread to the Indian people. But what was the actual plan? They want to disrupt the unity of the Hindus and the Muslims, okay. So by placing Bengal under two administrative units, Lord Curzon reduced the Bengal, okay. One is speaking, Bengali speaking people to a linguistic minority in a divided Bengal. That is one group, right? And then Lord Curzon assured that Muslims, that the new province of East Bengal, Muslims would enjoy a unity which they never enjoyed. Since the days of the Mughals. They told them, brainwash the peoples. We will bring back you for the rules of Mughals, right? Instead of dividing the Bengali people, along the religious line, partition united them. Actually, they thought that Hindus and Muslims may be divided with the help of this, okay. But what happened actually? They united. Instead of dividing both the Hindus and Muslims, they united, okay. The growth of regional language newspapers played a role in building a sense of proud Bengali identity. What happened for the anti-partition movement? Anti-partition movement? With the failure to, failure actually. What was failure? They thought that they want to divide the unity of the Hindu-Muslim. Isn't it okay? But what happened now? Instead of dividing, that should goes to, join them. Okay. So it's not possible to disrupt the unity of the Hindus and Muslims. So the partition, moderate leaders were forced to rethink their strategy, right, their approach, and look for new techniques of protest opposed against the British government, right, and then they boycott, they left out, they did not attend of the British goods, they did not buy, right, totally ஒதுக்கப்படுது, okay, எந்த பொருளையும் வாங்காம, that is called as boycott totally. British goods was one such method. However, the agenda, even the motto of Swadeshi movement was still restricted to secure and an element of partition of moderates were very much against against utilizing the campaign propaganda to start a full-fledged passive resistance, passive oppose actually. The militant nationalists, I mean the one more group, no, moderates and extremists, other group, on the other hand, were in favor of extending the movement beyond Bengal. Now it was happened only in the Bengal only, but they want to move this movement beyond Bengal and to initiate steps taken to start the other places in India in a full scale mass struggle, right? So the day Bengal was officially partitioned on 16th October 1905 was declared as the day of mourning, okay, mourning. Thousands of people took bath in the Ganga and marched on the streets of Calcutta. What is that? Singing Vande Mataram. So the next method goes to what is that? Boycott on the Swadeshi movement in Bengal in the year of 1905 to 1911. See, boycott and Swadeshi were always interlinked. Boycott and then as well as Swadeshi movement, I mean the freedom movement, which is something called freedom movement, India for Indians, right? That is called Swadeshi movement. Okay, were always interlinked, merged to each other and part of wider plan to make India as a self-sufficient, right? Four major trends can be discussed during the Swadeshi movement of Bengal. They adopted that. First one is a moderate trend, another one is a constructive Swadeshi, moderate trend, constructive Swadeshi, militant nationalism, and then revolutionary terrorism, okay. The constructive programs largely stressed upon self-help, okay, you don't go to expect anything from British government, alright. It focused on building alternative institutions of self-government that would operate free of British control. You would never expect anything from British government, or you will not be the British control. Swadeshi shops, what is that? Swadeshi shops, I mean the Indian shops, sprang all over the place of selling textiles, handlooms, soaps, earthenware, and what is that? Matchbox, and as well as leather goods also, right? This is called as Swadeshi shops as well as Swadeshi goods. Totally you are neglecting. That is called as boycott of the British goods. So the next one is a passive resistance. What is the meaning of passive resistance? Active resistance is now, we have seen that. Now the passive resistance opposed. See, from the year of 1906, okay, the Swadeshi movement took a turn, or important turn, or the turning point under this new direction. Under this, what is the new direction? The Swadeshi program included 4 points actually. Boycott of foreign goods, and then what is that? Boycott of government schools and colleges. First one is neglect of the foreign goods, and then no one should go to enter for the government schools and colleges. Court, title, and government services. Development of Swadeshi industries as well as national schools. I mean, we want to start our own school, our own vernacular language school, right? We don't go to the British school, okay? That is called as well as our industries. That is called Swadeshi industries. Resources to armed struggle. If the British repression control were beyond the limits of what is that? Endurance. Next one is militant nationalism. What is that? Lala Lajpati Rai of Punjab, Bal Gangadhar Tilak of Maharashtra, and Bipin Chandra, they were called as extremist leaders. Okay, moderate leaders, no, same they were called as extremist leaders, are the prominent leaders during the Swadeshi period, and they were referred to as the Lal Bal Pal. Lala Lajpati Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Bipin Chandra Pal. That is called as Lal Bal Pal. Okay, Punjab, Bengal, and Maharashtra emerged, created as the the hotbed of militant nationalism during the Swadeshi movement. Okay, in South India, Chuchigori, immediately just you have to remember who was that? VOC, yes, fine, VO Chidambaram. Okay, Swadeshi movement in South India, Chuchigori became the most important location of Swadeshi activity, which the launch of Swadeshi Steam Navigation Company by V.O. Chidambaram. Okay. Next one is a Swaraj or political independence. Swaraj or political independence. One of the common goals of the extremist leaders was to achieve Swaraj or self-rule. That is Indian government. Freedom. Swaraj means freedom. Self-rule means self-government. That is Indian government. Okay. Instead of British government. However, the leaders differed on the meaning. Of what is a Swaraj. For Tilak, Swaraj was the attainment of complete autonomy, complete independence from British government, total freedom from the foreign government. Okay. So the next heading goes to Home Rule Movement in the year of 1916 to 1918. Home Rule Movement, same as Swadesh movement. This movement is also forced to get the what is the freedom from the British government. Only the name only difference and the leaders may be different, but the motto is same, right? So the Home Rule Movement, the Indian National Movement was revived, renewed, and also radicalized, make more severe during the Home Rule Movement in the year of 1960 to 1980, led by Lokmanya Tilak, Balaganatha, isn't it okay? And Annie Besant, right? In the First World War, the Indians' participation in it was the background for the Home Rule, right? When Britain declared war against it, you know very well, in the year of 1914 to 1918 was the First World War. Here Britain, France, Russia and USA was one side, that Germany, Austria, Hungary, that's for the second side. Finally, the war was happened more than 4 years and 7 months. In the year of 1918, Britain got victory, isn't it okay? That was the small recall of what is the First World War. So we are compelled to fight or war along the side of USA, Britain against Germany. Okay. 1914, the moderate and liberal leadership extended their support to the British cause. So we thought that after completion of the First World War, definitely British government would give the freedom to our country. We thought that also. Okay, but this was not happened for that. Right? It was hoped that in return the British government would give self-government, the freedom. Okay. After the war, Indian troops were sent to several theatres, the places of the World War, but the British administration remained. What has happened that, but the British government was remained non-committal to such goals. Okay. What was seen as a British betrayal to the Indian cause of self-government led to what is that? A fresh call for a mass movement to pressurize the British government for getting what is the freedom. Okay. So what are the objectives of the Home Rule Movement? Aim and the motto. Say to attempt to get the self-government, Suya Arasang, the Indian government. Okay. Within the British Empire by using constitutionalism, the peaceful approach. Okay. Not the forceful, peaceful approach. To obtain the status of dominion status, a political position accorded, given lead later to Australia, Canada, and what is it, South Africa and New Zealand. And finally, to use non-violent constitutional methods to achieve these goals further. No one supposed to do for what is a violent part. All must take for what is a peaceful approach only. That is called as constitutional methods. Okay. Before last setting goes to Home Rule Movement, actually Lucknow Pact. Okay, Lucknow Pact. Home Rule Movement is over. Lucknow Pact. You know very well. On the following of the Home Rule Movement, several militant nationalists opened the possibility of the fresh talks with the Muslims. Okay. Under the Lucknow Pact of 1916, the Congress and the Muslim League, accept that there should be self-government. There should be self-government in India as soon as possible. In return, what happened that the Congress leadership accepted the concept of a separate elected for the Muslims. Okay, yeah, separate elected for the Muslims. This is Lucknow Pact. Actually, what is that? The Congress and the Muslim League accepted that there should be a self-government in India as soon as possible. In return, the Congress leadership accepted the concept of separate elected for the Muslims also. Okay, and finally, what was the British response? As the demand for Swaraj was raised by Tilak, Balaganatha and Annie Besant, that gained popularity, the British used the same old method to isolate, separate the leaders by repressing, controlling their activities. Okay, this was happened for them, but they don't. They did not. Think about even the self-government of the Swaraj of our country. Okay, right? And finally, in the year of 1919, the British government announced the Montague Chelmsford reforms, which promised gradual progress, little bit or slowly, of India towards self-government for the freedom. This caused deep disappointment This caused what is a deep disappointment to Indian nationalists. Right? We won't go to accept it. We need complete independence. But what was the decision taken by the British government? They may give only for what is that gradual independence only for this. Won't like by the accept by the who is the British government, I mean the Indian government or the Indian leaders. So in a further blow, the government created what was called the Revolt Act. We will discuss for the next topic, next lesson. Revolt Act. You know very well something about that. Revolt Act means any person or any people or any leader, they may be arrested by the British government without having any warrant. That is called as a Revolt Act, which was created by the British government to repress, I mean to control the Indian people or the Indian protesters or the Indian leaders for them. Okay, which provided for arbitrary, individually arrest and strict punishment also. Okay, so this is the topic, students. This is the lesson also. So already just we have seen the part 1 and this is the part 2. We have seen from the Indigo Revolt and then the formation of the birth of the nationalism. In what way it was happened for that? What are the steps taken for the foundation of the Indian National Congress? In Indian National Congress, what was happened for that? What were the two groups of the Indian National Congress also? In the final session, let me go for the conclusion. Just we know very well the later half of the second half of the 19th century. Okay, British India was revised or replete with revolts of Russians as well as rebellion of farmers as well as rebels against colonial and political and economic domination. Okay, you have seen that the Great Rebellion of 1857, I mean the Great Revolt of 1857 was the culmination of various anti-British tendencies. Okay, led by the deposed feudal land chieftains leaders. Okay, with an agenda to restore the pre-colonial order. We need the Great Revolt of 1857. Even though the leaders of the revolt lacked vision and were guided by local ambitions, it was a progressive act in terms of their effort to oppose and challenge a despotic alien government, substitute of government for that. And finally, Indian National Movement, building public opinion against the exploitative and oppressive control of the British rule, cruel British rule, inspired the younger generation to become the part of the further militant and anti-colonial struggle further. Okay, and finally, the Swadeshi movement helped to increase the participation of masses in the national politics or the nationalist politics further. Okay, so far the 7th lesson, I mean the anti-colonial and the birth of nationalism is over, students. Just to go through that. If you have any doubt, you may approach that. Okay, thank you, and we will meet later.